What's up, guys? Welcome back to Biopilot Arms. Today we've got some fantastic news. The NFA has been basically destroyed. Franklin Armory just came out with a brand new firearm called an SBF, a short-barreled firearm, and it is not regulated by the NFA. We'll get into what the new firearm is, how it is classified, why it's not an NFA item, and of course we will also talk about the different cartridge that they have come up with. Well, the NFA is destroyed. And not because we repealed it or got rid of the law, but simply because we followed the letter of the law, or rather Franklin Armory followed the letter of the law and has gotten around the short-barreled rifle and short-barreled shotgun prohibitions, NFA registration, and they've created a brand new firearm that literally is only classified as a firearm. You can just do a 4473, have it transferred directly to you, and there is no extra background check work. There is no NFA paperwork, no $200 tax stamp at all. It is perfectly legal to own in just about any state. So, let's take a look at the firearm that they have just dropped called the Antithesis. So, the Antithesis, you can see, ranges from between a 14.5 inch barrel to, I believe, a 7.5 inch barrel. And you can put a foregrip on it. A vertical foregrip is perfectly a-okay with this gun. Because it is not classified as an SBR or an SBS. It is simply classified as a firearm. It is not a rifle. It is not a shotgun. And the reason that it is not classified as either is quite simple, and I'm surprised that nobody has thought of it before. Though, to be fair, they just dropped these this year after an 8-year battle in the courts about the legal definition. So, essentially, these firearms are specifically designed, unlike normal ARs, these ones are specifically designed to shoot multiple projectile rounds. Okay? So, essentially, what has happened is a regular rifle with a rifled barrel, the round that it shoots only shoots one projectile that travels down the rifle barrel, through the rifling grooves and out the end of the barrel of the gun. Well, a shotgun uses a cartridge that has multiple projectiles, but is typically shot through a smooth bore barrel with no rifling. Now, those two different things are both in this gun. They have designed a proprietary round here. You can see here. It is essentially a 5.56 sized shotgun shell, basically. You can see, like, where the slight darkness is inside of this plastic casing is where there are discs. They are, I believe, what does the description say? It says it is nickel-plated lead discs in a .224 diameter cartridge, essentially. So it's slightly bigger than a .223. And that is so that way the soft plastic can catch the grooves, and I'm assuming that once it leaves the barrel, it will open up and expel those nickel-plated lead projectiles. So, basically, if you shoot this out of a rifled barrel, well, you're shooting a multiple projectile round, like a shotgun, through a rifled barrel. Meaning, because it doesn't have a smooth bore barrel, it can't classify as a shotgun. And because you're not shooting one single projectile through a rifled barrel, it can't classify as a rifle. And so, Franklin Armory argued this case in court for 8 years and got an affirmative decision from the court that these guns are not able to be classified under the NFA in any way, shape, or form and are simply just firearms. The ATF had to actually put out a letter saying that this was that nope, they weren't going to go after people that buy these. And the best part is, it's not even just this firearm. They also have another firearm called the Reformation, and this firearm also follows a similar rule, only it has a straight lands and grooves inside the barrel instead of twisted. So this was kind of, I think, their first idea was, hey, let's just use straight lands and grooves. But the problem with that is there's no stability to the projectiles that come out of it. And so there's no, like, it just comes out and tumbles after a short distance. It might hit the target keyhold or, however, so that's the problem with this one. Because both models of this gun are able to shoot regular 223 and regular 5.56 cartridges. So it was designed to shoot their proprietary ammo, but it can also shoot a regular 5.56, meaning this is essentially, for all intents and purposes other than its legal designation, it's a short-barreled rifle that you can shoulder, you can have a foregrip on, you can have a regular stock on it, you can have a 7-inch barrel, and you can shoot it without NFA paperwork, chambered in one of the most popular rounds in America, the 5.56. Now, technically, it's kind of, I would say, it's not designed for that. That just happens to be a happy accident that it's able to do that. So I think it's hilarious. And so I personally would not probably go with the Reformation just because it doesn't have any twist to it. And the Antithesis, line fixed that. I would definitely purchase the Antithesis over the Reformation. But I mean, dude, this is such a win. This is such a win for the Second Amendment because there are always ways around these laws. This just proves it. This just proves that the arbitrary laws, not only are they arbitrary, but they don't really do anything. I mean, we have FRTs now that basically make you shoot as fast as full auto, or in some cases, possibly even faster. You have the Antithesis here. They basically got around the legal definition by making something that doesn't fit the legal definition, following the letter of the law, and creating a short-barreled rifle without it being considered one legally. So we basically have gotten around most of the NFA. And the other good part about Franklin Armory is that they have licensed the designs for this to a bunch of other competitors, which means that a bunch of other competitors are going to produce their versions of these, meaning that this is going to end up in common use extremely quickly. And then it is, according to the Supreme Court, so then it will fall under the common use protections. So I just think that this is amazing. Kudos to Franklin Armory for not only designing it, but allowing other manufacturers to make it and spending probably millions of dollars in court to fight to get this to be recognized as what it is. A legal firearm that meets no definition requiring it to be on the NFA. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't get rid of the NFA, because we absolutely should, but it's moments like these that really give me hope that we'll be able to see it abolished in our lifetime, because if we have ways to get the exact same thing we want without it being on the NFA, how long is it going to actually really last? So we just got all the taxes for suppressors lowered to zero, and a bunch of the other stuff lowered, I think, in price as well. How long until the lawsuit about it being a tax gets to the courts and it just gets abolished entirely, I don't know. One can only be so hopeful. However, the moment I have enough money to acquire one of these, I am absolutely going to, because this is absolutely awesome and I want my shorty, boy. Okay? Anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this? Are you going to acquire one of these? And if so, which one? Which one? Are you going to get the 14-inch or the 7-inch? Because, like, I'd say get the 7 because, I mean, that's just really in your face. A 14, sometimes you can't really tell if it's a short boy or not. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comments down below. And tell me what you think about the difference between the Reformation and the Antithesis. Which one do you think is better? I will see you guys in the next one.